Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
Will do the inbounding, get it to Love in the right corner. Jumper for three is good. Oh my, Caleb Love with a pretty three. Alexis of Tucson, charity three. He's got 17 points, and the Wildcats lead by 22. Timeout, Bruins.
And Caleb Love is the Pac-12 Player of the Year for 2023-24. Are we surprised? Not really. As we've been saying all year, best player, best team, and that indeed is where we sit with Caleb Love as the best in the conference. Welcome to DKL the Sports Tip, coming to you on this Tuesday live from the Toshiba Plaza here in Las Vegas, outside of the T-Mobile Arena. You can see behind me the New York Hotel, the facades of some of the great buildings that you might find in New York City. Those are all facades, folks. No actual rooms, I don't think, inside anything of what you're currently seeing there. That is strictly for show. We've got the roller coaster going up there. Looks like it's about to take some people up to the top for the drop. I've never ridden that roller coaster. Maybe I'll get a chance to do that at some point. Want to hear from you today. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. We've got a packed show for you. We're going to talk some more women's basketball in the Pac-12. We'll get the thoughts of Jeff Metcalf is going to join us. Long-time writer for the Arizona Republic up in the Phoenix area. Now writes for the Pac-12 Hotline, covering women's basketball in the conference. We'll get his thoughts on what he saw here over the course of the last week for the Pac-12 women's basketball tournament. Also, we're going to chat with Rory Hoffmeyer today from Pima College, Pima women's basketball. The Aztec ladies get in to the NJCAA national tournament as an at-large. Congratulations to them. We knew that the Pima Aztec men were going to be going to the national tournament as winners of Region 1, but we found out today that the ladies are going to their nationals as well. So a lot of fun there for those two programs as they'll head on to nationals. The men are going to be a 9 seed. The ladies are going to be a 13 seed. We also expect to hear from the head coaches of both the USC Trojans, Andy Enfield, and the Washington Huskies, Mike Hopkins. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're right now outside of the T-Mobile Arena. We're going to go backpack inside here probably in about a half an hour. Andy Enfield is scheduled to speak. The USC Trojans are on the floor right now for their practice here today. That will commence, or that'll end around 3:50. So we'll try to get you some Andy Enfield, and then Mike Hopkins is scheduled to speak right after Andy Enfield prior to the Washington Huskies practice here in the 4 o'clock hour today. So we'll have the chance to hear from both of those coaches, at least we hope so, if everything works out as we plan it to, and get you some of their thoughts on that game that they'll play. And the winner of that game between Washington and USC will head into the contest on Thursday at noon against the number 1 seed, and that's your Arizona Wildcats. Again, I'm going to turn our camera around. If you're watching on one of our many video streams here, we're streaming this show on Facebook Live. We're streaming this show on Twitter at Wildcats1290, Twitch and YouTube at Wildcats Radio 1290. Show you a little bit of what we can. You might get a little sun glare there because the sun is in front of us. But this is the Toshiba Plaza here at Las Vegas outside of T-Mobile Arena. You can see right there where it says Pac-12 Fan Plaza. That is kind of what they're calling it this weekend, the Pac-12 Fan Plaza. They've got a stage right there where there'll be all types of entertainment and events going on. You'll see the basket out there in front of us. Some folks out there making sure that the basket standard works. They're shooting some baskets on that. There's some seating area here for what's going to be taking place on the stage. And there you see T-Mobile Arena in the background with players from each of the programs, much like what we saw at the Grand Garden Arena with the women's tournament. Umar Balo is the face of the Arizona Wildcats that is on that board right there. And so a great opportunity here for all of these fans from all of these schools to get one more taste, one last taste of Pac-12 men's basketball as we know it here this weekend with the Pac-12 Conference Tournament. Again, 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on the program. If you're heading up here, we want to hear from you what your thoughts are on this week here, what your plans are for this week, what you're hoping to see for this week from your Arizona Wildcats. I am in Las Vegas, as I mentioned. J.W. Madden is in Tucson. J.W., we had talked a lot this season about who the Pac-12 Player of the Week might potentially be. We pretty much narrowed it down to the top players from the three best teams, and that would be Caleb Love, KJ Simpson from Colorado, Isaac Jones from Washington State. But in the end, Caleb Love, the clear, I think, winner of this award. I don't think there was any surprise there at all.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked KJ, it was really about that, the splits and how efficient he had been shooting all season. DK, he winds up finishing the season shooting 45% from three. Very efficient perimeter player, obviously the focal point. But when you're talking about a guy who finishes on a team couple games back of the Cats, but more importantly is the head-to-heads, right? I mean, when Arizona went up against Colorado, obviously the first time around, they were a little undermanned. But KJ Simpson, I think, is the only guy at this point who has an argument. He finished about a point ahead of Caleb and across the board efficiency-wise. But it's always been best player, best team in this conference outside of some astronomical, crazy numbers that somebody's putting up, like 25 points and 12 boards. That's not the case this year. So I think it was a no-brainer. I don't think anybody's going to have too many issues with this outside of people in Boulder, Colorado.
Exactly. All right, again, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Let's take our first call of the afternoon and talk with our guy, Doug. You're on the DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
David, J-Dub, I'm excited. I am literally leaving town right this minute. I'll be there tomorrow morning. So can't wait to see you up there.
You're leaving right now, and it's going to take you till tomorrow morning to get here?
Are you taking a scooter?
I'm sleeping in Laughlin tonight.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're making a stop in Laughlin.
Yeah, I like to do that sometimes just to break up the trip and then just get up early tomorrow, and I'll probably be there by 9 in the morning in Vegas. But unfortunately, I came down with a little illness. Right at this time of year, I seem to catch it every year though. It's like March Madness. I've got a real bad case of March Madness. You just feel it. You just feel it, right? Yeah. The sun is warm and the basketball's good. And oh Lord, I'm so excited to be heading up to Vegas for the final Pac-12 tournament. I didn't have a lot of X's and O's stuff I wanted to call and talk about. I just wanted to share the enthusiasm and kick off your show the right way.
So are you going to games tomorrow, Doug, or just going to U of A games?
Oh, yeah, I do the wall-to-wall thing. I like watching all the games. It's for anyone who's never been, the Wednesday-Thursday combo is a bit of a grind.
Yeah.
You're going to, noon, 2:30, and then there's like a 30-minute turnaround. I'll probably go to the food court, grab something, and then you're right back at it. It's like 6 p.m. and then 8:30, and you're out at 10:30, close to 11 p.m. So from like noon to 11, it's wall-to-wall hoops. I mean, every game's an elimination game, so it's exciting. Every game's, could be really exciting. And then you turn right around, you get a short sleep, and you're right back at it again Thursday. By Friday, you kind of appreciate it because you can sleep in, you can go have a leisurely lunch, you can go to the pep rally, hopefully. And then the first game isn't until the evening on Friday. So, Wednesday, Thursday it's just like basketball nirvana.
It is.
And this year's I was going to say this year especially because you think about the teams, Doug, that have quality rosters but had injury issues throughout the season that are relatively healthy now, and their only chance to get to the dance is to win this week in Vegas. So I mean, you can look at the Pac-12 conference as a whole as being down this year, quote unquote, and there's still quality talent and some very good rosters that, especially looking at Colorado USC, I just think, it's going to be some great basketball up there and a lot to play for those teams.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Stanford Cal could be a great game. The only teams that are really limping into the finish line are, I would say, UCLA, ASU, who I usually don't name. Sorry about that. Utah and Oregon State because they're always limping. But aside from that, Washington's been on the rise, and Colorado's hot. Oregon's always dangerous.
The school up north is limping so bad into the tournament that their de facto best player, decided he'd rather earn money this week than finish out the season with them. Yeah,
isn't that just so on brand for the team from up there? Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Perez.
It's weird, man. I don't
know happen to a nicer team.
I don't know that I've ever heard a story like that where you're coming into maybe the last week and then you got the conference tournament and a player leaves for the express purpose of going to make money, leaving the program because they have an opportunity to go earn money next week.
Well, I think it's. I mean, I don't know that you would ever see that with an American. I mean, again, I think with a lot of the foreign-born players, I think that's a lot more likely for them to do that than, say, maybe somebody that's from the United States.
Well, they've already got an in, right? So they've already, the Tubelis are a good example, already had semi-professional experience. So they already had those connections in place, and I'm sure the same is for Perez. So I'm not here to badmouth the young man. More power to you. Just a weird story. Never heard that before.
Well, I mean, he could have made money if he waited an extra week. I mean, they're probably only going to play one game, 2 tops. And, but hey, I'm not even going to spend a lot of energy on them. That's their deal. But no, it's just this whole tournament's going to be like a curtain call for every program that we've been watching for all these years. It's like once a team loses, that's the end of their existence in the Pac-12, except for the 2 that are remaining. But let's say Utah or UCLA loses a game. It's like that's the end of their Pac-12 men's basketball history right there. And so there's going to be that extra element of interest as you watch those games. Like, man, Oregon, Colorado, whose Pac-12 history is about to end tonight. And hopefully ours will be when we're cutting down the nets on Saturday night. But, yeah, I mean, I love that Caleb got the honor and that Umar got first team. Very well deserved. A little disappointed Jaden Bradley didn't get the Sixth Man of the Year, but he got, I think, what did he get, honorable mention or something?
No, I don't know that. I don't recall if I saw him on the 6-man list. I know KJ Lewis. I saw him on the freshman. He had honorable mention freshman, but I don't know.
Yeah, Keshad was like the last person to not make the defense team, so he got the most votes out of players who didn't make the team. Yeah.
So Jaden Bradley didn't get any honors that you know of? I thought he might have gotten something.
I'll have to double check that, but I don't remember if I saw Jaden Bradley's name. Now that you mention it, I don't remember if I saw his name on the list.
Well, maybe he can use that for motivation coming into next year because he can really lock some people down, and he's going to get big minutes. I'm not – honestly, I pay attention to these individual honors, but it really is team first. And hopefully the guys, like Caleb and Umar, I think that they really buy into Tommy's, talk about this is our best shot, our defense. It's not me. So that's the thing you want to see a team do down the stretch is just stick together and not I don't expect to see anyone try to do hero ball at this point. This is a week to get right after last Saturday. At the same time, balance it by not, knocking ourselves out too much. I'd say my number 1 goal for this week is the team stays healthy. Number 2 goal is to win the trophy, and number 3 goal is that I don't get arrested for fighting with any fans from other schools.
Yeah,
please
I think that's
don't
the
get
most
arrested, Doug. Please.
No, it's not really my style. I just being funny, but I mean, I don't know if you guys agree. You really want to come out of this week healthy. We've had, Kirk Risa get hurt. We had Umar hurt his hand last year, and I'm knocking on wood as we speak here. Let me find some paper. because that's made from trees. Okay, so yeah, just want to come out of the week healthy, and then secondarily, let's try to win that second championship of the year, and then we can start focusing on the third one.
All right, Doug. We'll look forward to seeing you up here.
Absolutely. I'll chase you down on the plaza, David. And J-Dub, we really appreciate you. Wish you could go to this, but yeah, just wanted to say thank you for always holding it down before, during, and after the games.
Always, brother. I'll be here.
All right. Bear down, guys. Thank you.
All right,
Go
that's
Cats.
Doug, 520-848-1290. Cricket joins us now, the third member of our program. Cricket, we're back outside in Las Vegas. It's very much like here, although it's a lot cooler than I think normally. I don't know if we've been unseasonably warm this winter. It's kind of been cold here for the most part. Although, of course, now I'm right in the middle of the asphalt and the sun is out, and so I'm blazing right now.
Oh yeah, a little hot. It's a little warm.
All right, but I wanted to ask you. They've been promoting a bunch of concerts that are coming up. Obviously this summer here in Las Vegas, and I wanted to find out if you're a fan of any of these groups. Going back in the day, were you an Avril Lavigne fan? She's coming here on June the 11th.
She was okay. I went and saw her in concert once.
Did
when
you?
I was young. When I was a youngin', yeah.
Well, how old is she now anyway? She's not 40 yet, is she? Probably in her mid-30s.
She's probably 40.
Okay.
Maybe between 35 and 40.
Jesus, it seems just like yesterday she was 18.
39.
Marilyn
there you go.
Manson. Were you
A
into
little
Marilyn
hard for me.
Manson at all?
No, it's a little much, I think, for me.
That's a little much for you? That was a little bit too hard edge for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Marilyn's coming to town too. I remember Marilyn Manson because I think he's from Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. 2, he went out with that one actress, I cannot remember her name at this point, and they had a very volatile relationship. I remember they would always get tattoos. They would debut new tattoos every other month. They would have this new tattoo to profess their love. And then, of course, you always wondered, it's well, what happens if they don't stay together, which they did. And now you've got all these tattoos of this guy that you probably don't even like anymore. And then, of course, she came out and talked about how he emotionally abused her. So now you got tattoos from a guy who emotionally abused you.
Yes, laser removal.
Laser removal.
Yes.
There you
Believe
go.
it or not, DK, Canton.
Canton?
I thought he was from Northeast Ohio. I couldn't remember.
I don't know anybody from Canton. I mean, I know that the Baseball Hall of Fame is there, but I don't know
the
of anybody
Football
else.
Hall of Fame.
Football Hall of Fame obviously is there. I don't know of anybody who I've ever heard of anybody being born there. But yeah, sure enough, Canton,
There you
Ohio.
go. All right. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather. Here's Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Signals malfunctioning at Speedway and Campbell. Campbell and Speedway, traffic signals malfunctioning. Collision near the U of A at Park and Speedway. Speedway and Park Avenue. Some busy traffic this afternoon. Grant Road in Campbell. Also some slowing northbound Country Club approaching and passing Grant with road work there. Could use Tucson Boulevard instead. Save some time. 49 and clear tonight, 73, mostly sunny tomorrow, 25% chance of rain Thursday, 50% chance of rain on Friday, 76 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's new smashed potato bowl is here. Fries, mashed potatoes, cheese, and bacon come together to make a smashable snack. That's only $3.49. It's finger-licking good.
Did you miss the big game? We got you covered.
Boswell stopped, shoot a 3. Straight away, it's good. Kylan Boswell drains it. And that is the half. Cats up by 17.
DK on the Sports Tip. 3 to 6 weekdays.
Desperate buyers have created tremendous opportunity for sellers. If you've had the slightest thought of selling your home, it's time to call Sean Poston with the Poston Results Team at Keller Williams, Southern Arizona. Why choose the Poston Results Team? Past performance, more money in your pocket, over a 65% referral rate, an incredible Poston Results Team staff, and most important, communication, because you and your home matter. The Poston Results Team. When buying and selling really matter, go to TucsonHomeValues.com. That's TucsonHomeValues with an S.com.
This just in, Goodfellas AC is matching up to $2,000 on federal tax credit.
Whoa, seriously? This is unbelievable. I gotta call Floyd at Goodfellas. Hello, Goodfellas. Floyd speaking.
Is it true about the $2,000?
It sure is. Homeowners like you may qualify for a 30% federal tax credit up to $2,000 on qualifying heat pumps. And Goodfellas will match the tax credit dollar for dollar up to $2,000. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
At Nova Home Loans, we believe everyone deserves the opportunity to enjoy the independence that comes with home ownership. Whether you're a first-time home buyer who needs down payment assistance, have less than perfect credit, or looking to refinance, Nova has a variety of home loan programs for your unique situation. Visit novahomeloans.com or call 800-955-9125 to learn more. Not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Rates and available loan programs are subject to change without notice. NMLS 3087, BK 0902429, Equal Housing Opportunity.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we fight. We fight for accident victims, injured workers, abused seniors, those harmed by dogs, negligence, or malpractice. We fight the government and big corporations. And most importantly, we fight the insurance companies. We've been fighting for Arizonans since 1989. We go to court, we fight, and we win. Call Goldberg and Osborne and let the Eagle fight for you. Now accepting work injury cases.
Summer of 93, 76 days over 100. Summer of 23, the hottest on record.
We can't change the weather, but we can change your comfort.
Alaskan AC introduces the Grizzly.
The only air conditioner built for Arizona summers. It'll claw down hot temps.
The Grizzly.
This is getting intense.
It eats Arizona summers for breakfast.
Then it spits them out at lunch.
Wait a second.
The Grizzly claws the competition.
Tears them apart. Do another one.
Pounces on heat like it's a salmon spawning and rips it apart.
Like a salmon spawning?
Then it takes a pirate sword and stabs high temperatures.
Hold it.
Aw, it was just getting good.
Folks, we designed a new air conditioner made to handle the heat and dust of Arizona summers. We call it the Grizzly.
Yeah.
Take it easy. It's tough as a grizzly, but gentle on your budget.
That pirate sword?
Before summer gets blazing, learn more about the Grizzly at AlaskanAC.com.
You can tune in to the home of the Wildcats by downloading our new app at the Google Play Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. Let's talk more about what we witnessed here last week at the Pac-12 Women's Basketball Tournament. Pleased to be joined now from Phoenix on the phone by one Jeff Metcalf from the Pac-12 Hotline. He was out here all week last week covering the Pac-12 Women's Basketball Tournament. And first of all, Jeff, welcome to the show. What were your impressions of last week? It looked like early on it might not be too eventful with all the early blowouts that we got on that first day of the tournament, but then it turned into a real competitive evening, really, when you got down to the second day, and then the two outstanding semifinals, the second one especially with USC and UCLA going to double overtime, and then the Trojans really taking control of that championship game early against Stanford to win their first title in a number of years.
Yeah, hi, David. Thanks for having me. I really thought that there was quite a bit of chalk there early, even with a couple close games in the quarterfinals. But from the semifinals, well, really some of the quarterfinals, and then after that, I thought it was just amazing basketball. You know, 2 double overtime games. Stanford got to the final, but then wasn't able to double up with the regular season championship. USC, I thought, played really well. there was just some really good games there from, Thursday night on through Sunday.
What was your impression? What are your takeaways from Arizona? And had you seen them before getting here to Las Vegas?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've seen all of them quite a bit. I've seen Arizona in person and quite a bit on TV. I really think, well, first off, to me, they're obviously deserving of being in the NCAA tournament. And I know right now they're projected as an 11 seed, and I just can't see them falling out. I think, a lot of the Pac-12 coaches said, we deserve 7, 8, 9 teams in. I'm not totally sure if I buy that, but I do believe that they deserve more than the 6 nationally ranked teams, and Arizona's the most prominent of those. So to do what they've done with basically 7 players and, the up and down roller coaster they've gone through this season, I think it's been fantastic, actually. I think Adia's done a wonderful job. And at one point she said sometimes it's addition by subtraction. And, since they beat Stanford from then on, it more or less looks like that's the case. Now, they're vulnerable because of foul trouble and having a really short bench, but you can make a case that they're playing their best basketball right now, which is 7 players.
We've been saying, Jeff, that potentially you could have 3 number 1 seeds from the Pac-12 conference with USC, UCLA, and Stanford. Do you think we'll see that? Do you think all 3 of those teams could get number 1 seeds?
I do not. I do think, though, unless Texas jumps, if Texas wins the Big 12 championship tonight, that's the one to watch to see whether they would jump up into under the number 1 line. But right now, I think it would be Stanford and USC, and then I think what you'd end up with is UCLA is a 2. So you'd have 2 number 1s along with Iowa and South Carolina. Of course, those would be your number 1s. I think UCLA would be a 2, Oregon State would be a 3, and then the other one to watch is whether Colorado's going to get up to a 4. And the projection right now is that they are up to a 4. Whether they can hold on to that, then you'd have 5 teams hosting sub-regionals, and that's never happened before in this conference. So to go out, with basically, 20 teams playing at Pac-12 sites in the first and second round,
right.
That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing.
So the team you project to potentially be number 2, would they be a number 2 in the West, you think?
UCLA, you mean?
Yeah.
I think what would happen, at least this is what ESPN's kind of projecting, is that Stanford and USC would both go to Portland. There's two regional sites for people who don't know.
Right.
So there's 2 regionals in Portland and 2 regionals in Albany, New York. And the projection that I've seen has Stanford and USC going to Portland, and then UCLA and Oregon State in the Albany regionals.
I see.
So I think you would have, of those top 4 Pac-12 teams, I think 1 would be in each of the 4 regionals. So you'd have 2 in Portland, 2 in Albany, and then they'd fit the other ones in Colorado, Utah, and Arizona. They would fit those in, on one of those. In other words, there'd be 2 between Colorado, Utah, and Arizona. There'd be 2 Pac-12 teams in a couple of those regionals.
Jeff Metcalf is joining us from Pac-12 Hotline, longtime writer for the Arizona Republic in Arizona. Jeff, when you look at this, the totality of this tournament, I mean, you've got so much. I mean, coming off what happened last year with the star power, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and now you throw a Juju Watkins into that mix and some of the other high-profile players, Camila Cardozo, who might have raised her profile even more with the little dust-up on Sunday. I mean, this is a great time for women's college basketball just because of all these talented women that we're seeing across the country.
Well, the the saying or the sentiment is that college women's basketball is having a moment, quote unquote, right now, and I think that's really true. I don't know if you saw some of the ratings for the championship games, but there were over 3 million that watched the Iowa game, and then the other 4 all had, 1 million to 2 million. I think the average was maybe 2.1 for all 5 of the Power 5 championship games. I mean, that's a significant. I mean, if you look at the year-to-year percentage increase, it's really huge. And of course, I think Iowa, I believe, has averaged a sellout for every game the entire season because of Clark. So, you see things happening that even, 5 years ago were somewhat unimaginable, and college basketball was pretty high at a pretty high level even then. When you're talking about Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum, some of the players that have preceded the stars that we're seeing right now, Asia Wilson. I mean, those players are all starring in the WNBA right now. But what's going on right now is exceeding even that. And I think the ratings for the NCAA tournament are going to be huge. And I really believe right now there's as much buzz about college women's basketball as there is about the men's game. And no one would have ever said that before.
Jeff Metcalf from the Pac-12 Hotline joining us, talking NCAA women's basketball and the Pac-12 conference. Cameron Brink announced today that she is going to turn pro. This comes on the heels of Caitlin Clark announcing that she is going to turn pro. There was a lot of conversation early in the year in January about whether or not those decisions would be made, whether these women would maybe come back and play another year of college because of the NIL and all of that potential, maybe even to make more in NIL than you could make in the WNBA. Are you surprised at all that the decisions being made are to leave and go play professional?
I'm really not, for a couple of reasons. One, most of their NIL sponsorship money will carry over with them.
Yeah.
So they'll get their WNBA salary, which that's what a lot of people are looking at, the WNBA salary relative to the NIL, but a lot of that's going to go with these players. Maybe not some from the collective, but a lot of the individual deals they have will carry over. So Caitlin Clark's not taking a pay cut. Let's put it that way. And then I think the other thing is you can see how WNBA ready Clark, Brink, some of these other people are. Maybe not Paige Beckers yet because of her injuries. I can see Paige going back. I understand that logic to me. And I don't think maybe she's accomplished everything she wanted to get done at UConn because of the injuries. So that one makes more sense to me. But the other two, I think it's time for them to go. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think they're more than ready to go. And, I think it's just going to be, it's a natural progression. That's what you want to see. And we want to see then these fans of theirs follow them on to the pros. And, we're finally going to get some expansion in the WNBA next year when they're going to add a team in San Francisco. And I think there's going to be a second team added here, maybe Toronto. That's not set yet. But there's going to be some more opportunities for these college players where a lot of players in the last 10 years or so have come out, but they've had a hard time making a WNBA team. So that's going to loosen up a little bit more. And I just think it's, like I said about that, having a moment, I think it's kind of that symbiotic thing is going to work too between college and pros, maybe more than it ever has.
Jeff, you've obviously covered a lot of events here for the Pac-12 in Las Vegas. The Pac-12, as we know it, is going away. Arizona schools headed to the Big 12. Do you think the Big 12 is going to try to come in and capture this Las Vegas market?
I wouldn't be surprised at all, given the way their commissioner is proactive about things, which is, I'm not necessarily reflecting on other commissioners, but it seems like a logical move to me. Now, I don't know enough about contracts or where where the Big 12 is locked in, but I can certainly see them saying, okay, we got the two Arizonas, we got Colorado, Utah, and we've got a great place to go for, wherever you're coming from in the Big 12. So I don't know. It just seems like they would be smart to find a way to incorporate Las Vegas into all that. I just don't know exactly how soon that would be or exactly what it would look like.
Hey, Jeff, we appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. Great to meet you out here in Las Vegas. Continued success with the Pac-12 Hotline.
All right. Thanks, David.
Jeff Metcalf, longtime writer in the state of Arizona, spent many years with the Arizona Republic writing college women's athletics. College athletics, used to be the beat reporter for the Arizona State Sun Devils as well. We appreciate him taking a moment. All right, we're going to get a break in here. We're going to come back. Just to let you know, we're going to be going dark for a little while on our web stream here because I'm going to go inside to hopefully be able to get down and Andy Enfield and Mike Hopkins are going to be speaking here shortly, so we're going to see if we can get mobile here to bring you those press briefings. When we come back, we're going to hear from Caleb Love, who spoke today in Arizona. We've got some people here, local, testing out mics. That's why, oh, my goodness. They're announcing Arizona State Sun Devil Marching Band. We don't want to hear that. All right. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions reported Valencia and Midvale. Midvale Park in Valencia. Crash on Speedway to the west of Euclid. Collision occurred at Speedway and Park Avenue. Traffic signals malfunctioning at Campbell and Speedway. 49 and clear overnight, 73, mostly sunny tomorrow, 25% chance of rain Thursday, 50% chance of rain Friday. And right now it is mostly sunny and 76 and breezy. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors.